Hello, everyone. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
It's our unit on food for the month of August. And, of course, if you want to live every day of the month of August, you're going to have 3 square meals a day. And sometimes you need some ideas about what to eat. And so today we're going to be talking about something called comfort foods. I don't think these kinds of foods or these snacks are recommended for a nutritious diet, but they are foods that make you happy, and maybe you can indulge yourself from time to time.
They're not necessarily unhealthy. It's not fast foods we're talking about usually when we say comfort foods, but foods that have a lot of calories in them for sure. For example, mac and cheese, that's considered a comfort food. Or
how about apple pie?
Apple pie is a dessert.
Or chocolate cake.
Yeah, comfort foods just, they're definitely not low calorie, and they have plenty of fat and oil in them. Not necessarily sugar, but they could have some sugar in them. My comfort food is shepherd's pie. You know, it's a regular dinner for a lot of people, but boy, it's pretty high in calorie. It's ground beef with some sort of tomato sauce and mushrooms in the bottom. And then on top of that, you put lots of mashed potatoes and cheese, and then you put it in the oven. And boy, does it taste good. I think it started out in Europe. It's a British dish.
That sounds like something they would do.
Yeah, and actually the Queen still requests that dish. But their shepherd's pie uses lamb meat. I prefer beef, but you can use whatever you want. You wouldn't have to put meat in it, Tom. You're a vegetarian. You could use maybe eggplant in the bottom layer. But yeah, it's pretty fattening.
Okay, so yeah, fattening usually means it's comfort food, but not always. But I guess we need to stress the fact that this is stuff that we eat to make us happy.
Yeah.
It might be good for us, it might not be. Probably not so much, but we'll talk about this as our lesson continues. So again, we are chasing away the blues with comfort foods. Let's find out what this is all about right now.
When you're feeling stressed out, what do you do to raise your spirits? Some people exercise to feel better again. Others find that shopping takes the edge off. Many of us find comfort in food. Some beef noodles or a few homemade cookies can immediately put a smile on our face. But why do these foods make us so happy? For starters, comfort foods make us feel good physically. Meals that are high in salt, fat, or sugar trigger our brain's reward system. Eating them floods our bodies with positive feelings and helps us relax. Comfort foods also serve an emotional purpose and make us feel a sense of belonging. We often associate certain foods with friends and family because we've shared these foods with them in the past. In fact, if you merely see someone eating these foods, the sight can bring back pleasant memories. There's also a powerful link between our sense of smell and our emotional memory. A whiff of homemade chicken soup can instantly transport us back to our grandmother's kitchen. In turn, we will remember her serving us this dish and caring for us as children. Although comfort eating is a nice, temporary joy, it's important to put limits on what we consume. The pleasure of eating comfort foods can quickly turn into guilt if we binge on unhealthy dishes.
Okay, let's get into it. Let's talk about comfort foods. Comfort, of course, is when you feel comfortable. So a comfort food is something you eat to make you feel happy and relaxed and stuff like that. Now, normally, of course, we always think of comfort foods or junk food or stuff like that as things we're not supposed to eat. If we're happy when we're eating, then that's bad, right? That's probably a bad way to approach it. You can certainly have joy eating healthful foods like salad and stuff like that. I know sometimes I like to eat salad and it makes me feel happy. So yeah, don't think comfort food is junk food. It kind of depends on what the food is. So again, it's just food that makes you feel good. And you want to chase away the blues. The blues, of course, refer to times when you feel sad. And so you want to eat something to make you feel happy.
Yeah, there are different ways to give yourself comfort if you're not feeling happy or if you're a little down. In our first sentence here, our writer says, when you're feeling stressed out, what do you do to raise your spirits? People handle stress different ways as well. Some people who are under a lot of stress tend to eat more, but there are other people that don't eat anything. If I have something due that I'm supposed to have finished, like a piece of writing, for example, I tend to not eat. I just, tend to just keep trying to get it done. But when I'm feeling down, yeah, I might eat some comfort foods there, or even some food that is not completely healthy. But if you raise your spirits, it just means, how do you take yourself from feeling bad? It could be that you're stressed, depressed, angry. There are lots of reasons to feel bad. How do you take that negative emotion and turn it around to something positive? How do you raise your spirits, or what do you do to raise your spirits is the question.
Yeah, how do you cheer yourself up? How do you make yourself happy again? Well, here are some things that some people do. Some people exercise to feel better again. Indeed, lots of people go for strolls or jogs in the park. Maybe they go swimming. Maybe they lift weights or something like that. Others find that shopping takes the edge off. So, yeah, you might be a shopaholic. You might head down to your local night market or department store and buy something to make you feel good. You have a stressful life. You're in school. You're studying for tests. You have your parents are, they have expectations of you. You have expectations of yourself, or you have a high pressure job and your boss is putting you under a lot of pressure. So you need to take the edge off. That's an interesting phrase here, to take the edge off. The edge here just means you're probably in a state of being nervous and worried about stuff. So oftentimes you might take the edge off using these different methods. I know that my father used to take the edge off after a rough day at the gas station by having himself a before-dinner cocktail. Okay, he'd just have one, but it would take the edge off. It would make him feel relaxed before he would have dinner.
That's typically how we use this phrase, is when it's associated with some sort of alcohol that kind of makes you feel a little bit more loose. I don't drink alcohol, but I watch a lot of TV, movies, and read books, and that's always how they try to take the edge off, is just to have some sort of alcohol. It could be a beer. Your dad would drink a cocktail. Could be wine. That's how some people take the edge off. Many of us, though, find comfort in food and not just alcohol or some sort of liquid. I tend to turn towards food, especially things like potato chips. My favorite kind are Lay's barbecued potato chips. I can eat the whole bag. The bags here are smaller, by the way, than they are in the U.S. But yeah, that makes me feel a little better until I finish the bag and I feel terrible that I had all of those potato chips. Well, sometimes beef noodles can make you feel good. Or maybe a few homemade cookies can immediately put a smile on your face. These are just some examples of types of comfort food for people. I love the beef noodles here that they have. And I also would love to have some homemade cookies, but I don't have an oven, so I can't make them. But those both sound really delicious to me. Now, here's our last question in paragraph 1. But why do these foods make us so happy? Why? What is it about these foods?
It's a good question, so we will attempt to answer this question as our lesson continues. So let's do it. Let's move on now to the next paragraph. It says, for starters, or to begin with, for starters in trying to answer this question, comfort foods make us feel good physically. Okay, so yes, if we eat these kinds of foods, they will make us feel good in a physical sense. Our bodies, okay, not psychologically, not spiritually. We're not talking about the mind just yet. We're talking about the body. And your body's kind of hungry and it needs something. It's lacking something. That's why we get hungry, because our bodies need food. So eating these kinds of foods will make us feel good physically. We'll feel more relaxed. We'll feel like we've got something that we need in our bodies.
Right. So meals that are high in things like salt, fat, and sugar trigger or get something to start. If something triggers something, it just causes that thing to start. It triggers our brain's reward system. Yeah, if I eat really nutritional food, like, foods that are very low in fat, no salt. I love salt too. Yeah, I end up not feeling so great. Yeah, they're good for you, but, it's not quite the same as having a bowl of beef noodles, you know what I mean? So, it can help trigger your brain's reward system. What else can trigger your brain's reward system, though, is actually some exercise. So that's a good place to go if you need some comfort, rather than trying to go buy some food that's not very good for you. Although I understand doing that too. We all do it.
We certainly do. So again, they trigger our brain's reward system. I guess the brain will release hormones and stuff like that to make us feel better.
Yep.
And eating them floods our bodies with positive feelings and helps us relax. So here we got the word flood. Flood can be both a verb and a noun. We've got to watch out for floods when typhoons come, right? That means there's water everywhere. That's a noun there, a flood, when there's too much water. But also flood here is a verb that just means we get a lot of something all at once. We get something really quickly. So yes, indeed, we have positive feelings and they flood our bodies. They take over our body. We've got these nice positive feelings. And as a result of these positive feelings, they help us relax. We can sit down and play with the phone or whatever after a long day's work.
Just another example of flood, guys. Maybe Monday morning you sit down at your computer and you feel like email just keeps flooding into your inbox. That's an example of just getting a lot of something. The quantity is very high and it happens over a quick amount of time. Besides typhoons, Tom, we have the May plum rain.
Yep.
We get a lot of floods then, too. We're going to come back and continue talking about comfort foods, guys. But first, we're going to take a break and listen to our Chinese teacher.
Hello, my name is Shelby. 现在中文讲解，用疗愈食物赶走忧郁。标题 Comfort。安逸、舒适 ，comfort food 指家常美食，是那些让人家会想起家庭温暖的食物。当你倍感压力的时候，该怎么做呢？在第一句 stressed out 形容词片语表示压力大的，也可省略 out 只写 stressed 来表达。stress out 也可以当作动词，是非常焦虑。Traveling stressed him out 旅行让他非常紧张。有些人会运动1则发现购物能让自己释放压力。Edge 边缘或者优势 The edge of a forest 森林的边缘。Takes the edge off 表示削弱减少。Shopping takes the edge off 购物能让自己释放压力。这题要考不定代名词，有人这样有人那样。Find 是复数动词，表示主词是复数。后面一句又提到 many of us 说明我们不少人用吃来排解压力。可以知道除了运动以及购物，吃东西也能抒压，所以答案选没有限定范围的代名词 See others。 牛肉面或几块饼干就可以让我们开心，但是为什么呢？第二段第一句，首先疗愈食物会让我们感觉良好。 For starters 这是口语，表示首先或作为开头，相当于 in the beginning 或者 at first。高糖、高盐这种餐点会触发我们大脑的奖赏系统。富含什么什么可用 rich in something 或者是 high in something 来表达。后面生字 trigger 是引发、触发。第二题，怎么样这些食物会使我们的身体充满正能量？动词 floods 表示充满、淹没。这题要考句子结构。Floods 是动词，因此空格是主词，而且是第三人称名词的单数。A 选项 eat 为动词， C to eat 不定词， D by eating 借由吃，这是介系词变语，所以答案选 B eating。 eating 为动名词。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. Let's continue with our lesson. We're talking about comfort foods today. That's the subject of today's lesson. And they make us feel good physically. And such examples would include foods that are high in salt, fat, or sugar. They trigger our brain's reward system, and these things flood our bodies with positive feelings, and then we can relax. Now, comfort foods also serve an emotional purpose and make us feel a sense of belonging. So we talked about the physical sense of eating comfort foods. Now we're talking about the emotional sense, or the emotional aspect, the emotional purpose here, at least in terms of our feelings, how we feel. Do we love? Do we hate? Are we relaxed? Are we nervous? Those are things that have to do with the emotions.
Yeah, if you have a sense of belonging, and these are words that we often use together, it's a phrase, just means you feel like you've been included in some group or maybe a family. And some people, don't have families that are really close-knit. We'll often talk about families that are close-knit. They get along and are happy to get together. Or some people grew up without parents at all. So everybody on the planet Earth wants a sense of belonging, that they fit in with some sort of group, whether it's a family or a group of friends or what have you. Having a sense of belonging is really important for our emotional well-being. So we often associate or connect certain foods with friends and family because we've shared these foods with them in the past. Every time I get nachos, which are corn chips with, bean, cheese, green chilies, things like that. It's a Mexican food dish. Every time I get nachos, I always remember back to the fun days of going to college with my best friend. We would always order a plate of nachos together. So that's where this, sense of belonging fits in. It triggers memories. You feel like, oh, yeah, remember that time? And you feel love at that point.
Yeah, like if I eat pumpkin pie, of course, that will remind me of the times we got together for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
That's a common holiday food. And there are probably local equivalents here in Taiwan, foods that you eat during Chinese New Year. And if you eat that at another time, it will remind me, oh, that reminds me of the time we got together with my family about 5 years ago, etc., etc. So again, we associate these certain foods with friends and family. Now, in fact, if you merely see someone eating these foods, the sight can bring back pleasant memories. So yeah, you don't only have to just eat those foods, but you could actually see someone eating those foods. So if you merely see someone, if you just or only see someone eating these foods, hey, the sight of someone eating pumpkin pie or beef noodles or something like that can give you some kind of emotional comfort.
Yeah, so merely here is one of our vocab words. It just is another word you can use instead of only. So if you merely or only see someone eating these foods, the sight can bring back pleasant memories. And who doesn't need more of those? We love our pleasant memories. I love the next sentence, too, where they talked about how there's a powerful link between our sense of smell and our emotional memory. I think it's amazing. Even here, being so far away from my home, I can walk past, for example, a particular flower and smell that sense, that fragrance, smell that scent, I should say, or fragrance, and immediately be back with my parents in the backyard where my mom is planting flowers with us. I love that. So there are links between our sense of smell and our memory that is all wrapped up in emotions. Now, a whiff or a quick smell, that's what a whiff is. A whiff of homemade chicken soup can transport us back to our grandmother's kitchens. Whiff is also used for you baseball players out there, or baseball fans. If a batter swings at a ball and misses it completely, he just whiffed it. So he whiffed. He had a whiff. You can use it as a noun or a verb, but here, of course, it is a noun, a whiff.
You could catch a whiff of something. For me, smelling the aroma of tar. A road being paved.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, for a strange reason, reminds me of my childhood. I think there was one time I was playing outside and the road was being paved or something. But that's not food so much. But yeah, there are certain kinds of smells or aromas from food that will take you back and bring back pleasant memories. And again, the sense of smell is often associated with our emotional memory. And again, here's that whiff of homemade chicken. That's an example, but I'm sure you've got local equivalents here. Get a smell of something, a whiff of something, and it will take you back to your childhood or your grandmother's kitchen, whatever the case may be. Now, in turn, we will remember her serving us this dish and caring for us as children. So, in turn, kind of means as a result. So, we get this whiff of homemade chicken, and that takes us back to grandmother's kitchen 20 years ago. And then, as a result, in turn, we then will remember her serving us this dish and caring for us as children and taking us out for walks and reading bedtime stories to us, etc.
Okay, guys, moving on to the final paragraph. It says, although comfort eating is a nice temporary joy, it's important to put limits on what we consume. Don't go hog wild or don't go crazy like some of us do. And I have gone crazy on occasion. Here is a word that's in our vocabulary list. Temporary just means something that doesn't last forever. It's there for a limited amount of time. So this temporary joy isn't forever. It's not permanent. Permanent, of course, is the exact opposite of temporary. So you might have a temporary job. Temp jobs turn into permanent job offers if you're really good. So always do a great job, even if you're a temporary worker.
Yeah, indeed. Work hard because you might need that reference for future jobs. So, yeah, don't take that job lightly, even though it's only temporary. And, of course, this comfort eating is something that you should do to get that temporary joy. And it's important to put limits on what we consume. Here's the verb consume. That's just a fancy way of saying eating something. But I should add that that leads to the word consumer, which talks about people who buy and use products in society.
Yeah, so you could consume something so it's no longer around as well. So that would mean to use up some sort of resource like natural gas or oil. But food, yeah, we definitely eat, drink, or ingest food or drink. That's a way that you can define consume. And I'm a consumer of lots of wonderful goods here in Taiwan, not just products, but some of your foods are just quite delicious. Now, the pleasure of eating comfort foods can quickly turn into guilt if we binge on unhealthy dishes. I think this sentence was just for me. Our writer must have thought, oh, Stephanie would appreciate this. It's a good piece of advice here. Yeah. If you indulge yourself, treat yourself to too many comfort foods in a short amount of time, you can quickly have a problem, maybe with weight or eating things that aren't very nutritious for you. So turn into means it changes from one thing to another. For example, the Transformers, they would turn into some sort of monster. They turned out as cars at first, and then they turned into these. I'm not a good Transformer movie person, guys.
Yeah, they're actually cars, and then they turn into robots, basically. And then vice versa. They are robots, and then they turn into cars.
Oh, I thought the robots were mean, though. So
well, they're the good ones and the bad ones.
Oh,
the Autobots and what's the other one? I can't remember.
I don't know the movie.
I saw the movie quite some time ago. The Decepticons, I think, are the bad ones, but that's a subject for another day. So, yes, indeed, eating those comfort foods can quickly turn into guilt if we binge on unhealthy dishes. So, binge here is being used as a verb with the preposition on to binge on something. That just means to eat a lot of something or to use a lot of something. You can binge on movies, for example, or on TV shows. Watch like 20 episodes of the same show or something all at once. If you've got Netflix or something like that. And that can happen. So, yeah, don't let it turn into guilt. And guilt just means you kind of feel bad about something you've done.
Yeah, guilt is the noun form, guys. To describe somebody or maybe even yourself as feeling that, you would use the adjective form, which is guilty. I feel so guilty. I ate 2 gallons of ice cream tonight. Yeah, don't let yourself go into the binge mode or binge method. Stay away from that. But it's good to give yourself comfort foods every once in a while. Right now, we're going to listen one more time to our Chinese teacher, and then we'll be back to wrap it up.
疗愈食物也起情感作用，使我们有归属感。A sense of 表示什么什么感，成就感 a sense of achievement， 幽默感 a sense of humor。第3题，我们经常空格某些食物与亲友空格在以前，空格的下一句以 in fact 事实上这种语气开头，可以推论这2句的主题是相同。后一句说看到有人吃某些食物就会想起开心的回忆，可以推论食物可以让我们联想到别的事情，所以答案选 A associate with 表示我们经常将某些食物和亲友联想在一起。其他选项 B 将什么什么分成多少， C 阻止谁做什么事情， D 归咎什么事情于什么上，都不符合句意。下一句，甚至呢有个 merely 是表示只是仅仅不过，相当于 only。接着又说嗅觉与情感记忆也有关联。第4题，一阵家乡的鸡汤味可以立刻空格我们奶奶的厨房。句首 whiff 一阵烟或一阵气味， a whiff of a fresh air 一股新鲜的空气。这题呢是以鸡汤的香味为例，让我们想起奶奶过去为我们烹煮的鸡汤，可以推知本句应该是指这味道将我们带回小时候奶奶的厨房，所以答案选 D transport。 这个字除了当运输，还有使身临其境的感觉，例如说 The film transports us back to the past， 这部电影将我们带到过去。其他选项 A 释放， B 保证， C 遭遇，都不符合句意。下一句，继而我们会想起他为我们烹煮这道菜。句首 in turn 相当于 by turns， 表示轮流、依序或继而，有 one after another 的意思。第5题，尽管吃疗愈食物是很棒的短暂喜乐，重要的是空格我们吃的量。空格下一句指出，若暴食 binge 不健康的食物，很快就会有罪恶感，表示以吃 consume 来抒压也是要有所节制，所以答案选 D limits。 片语 put limits on something 限制…… what we consume 我们吃的食物， what 等于 the food which 表示什么什么东西， consume 吃喝消费， consumer 消费者。其他选项 A 威胁， B 影像， C 学位。好，最后一句我们来看，乐趣很快就变成罪恶，如果我们暴食不健康的食物。 If 子句中的 binge 大吃大喝， to go on a binge 饮酒行乐， to have a binge 饮食没有节制。以上是今天的讲解，谢谢收听。
That's it for today, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And so now you know a little bit more about comfort foods, and you know that you can have them sometimes and not at other times. We wish you the best of health. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.